This is the voice of Marie Burke, and it's 2026. And this year, I decided to take a break from doing stage and on-screen acting to pursue my love of voice acting, along with playing the best role ever, that of a full-time mom. How am I doing this? I gave myself the challenge of getting into the voiceover booth as often as possible and then sharing on social media 1-minute video journal entries of what I'm working on that particular day or week. Here's the recap for this month. Thanks for tuning in.
There's nothing quite like a brand new month and a brand new week to make you feel re-energized in your goals, especially if you are reevaluating them and you're realizing, hey, it's March and I'm continuing this journey. It might not be perfect, but this wasn't just a New Year's resolution fad. Like, we're doing this step by step, one day at a time. So definitely feeling proud of myself. Definitely thank you guys who are watching this journey unfold here inside my booth. I'm also excited because it's happening this month. I am recording my audiobook reel. I've already got a character reel of a lot of my different characters that I would use for children's content or animation, and I've got a commercial reel. But now, as I've been working on audiobooks, I am going to be creating the audiobook reel. And to practice, first of all, I'm going to be recording a short story that a friend sent to me. And I was like, I don't have time to read this. I wish I could just play this in the car. And then I was like, oh my gosh, it hasn't been recorded by a voice actor yet. So here I am. I recorded my first short story audiobook. It was about a 10-minute story that a friend sent my way. And it was definitely confirmation that this is something that I really enjoy and want to do. So the whole recording process took about 45 minutes to an hour. And while I was recording, I would make marks on my my recording software by going. And so whenever I would look at the sound wave signature, I would see these 2 long bars, and that would be my claps. And that would tell me this is a place where I need to go back and revisit a line, or like, because I was in the zone and I didn't want to stop every single time. Being the perfectionist I am, I would have stopped like every 5 seconds to re-record a line or something. So I would just go back and revisit those areas, and they were really easy to find. I also removed the big sound breaths and the clicks. And then after that, normalized it, which makes all of the volumes equal, and sent it out.
Okay, so you guys have found me after I have run up the stairs. The kids are now playing in the sandbox, which means I've probably got about 20 minutes to do some work. So I'm going to use that time today to do some research for creating my audiobook reel. And what that means is I'm going to be finding pieces that can utilize my skills, my dialects, my characters, the tones of voice, the types of stories that I think I do really well and that I also want to do going forward. And usually when you create a reel, you go to a professional who helps you find content. They engineer it for you, especially for commercial reels. But since I have been working on this and researching this, I feel confident that in the work that I've been doing and in my research that I can create a really great audiobook reel. And it'll also showcase what my actual booth sounds like, which is great because that's where people record their audiobooks, in their booths. So that's what I'm going to be doing today.
Hey, can y'all guess where I'm at? If you said not in my sound booth, then you are correct. And that's because I'm on a small vacation with family out of town. So I thought this would be a good time to talk about what do voice actors do when they have an audition that might be due in 24 to 48 hours, or they might actually have a job to record, but they've got a cool trip planned or something. Well, a lot of actors, they actually have a mobile setup that they can take with them, and they can set it up in their car, they can set it up in their hotel room, or in a closet in an Airbnb. And that's really important for people at certain levels in their voice acting career. I've decided for myself at this time in my life that I'm just going to be with my family and focus on having a good time. But it is cool to know that those options are there, because in our Airbnb, I am hearing cars driving by, construction, lawnmowers. I definitely could not record anything voiceover if I wanted to and be competitive at it. But that's okay for now. I'm back. It's been 4 days since I've been here inside the studio. We took a little family vacation, and then it was 2 days of getting our lives back together, including dealing with a sick toddler. I feel like at times I'm having a little bit of deja vu, and I go back and forth with like being super productive, and then it's like life and family just takes over. But I'm enjoying life. So that's the point of it. I have to remember that. If there's anybody else who's in a similar position where you are a mom who is trying to take care of your kids, but you're also trying to pursue your own business and you're making baby steps and you feel like they're not going quick enough, please let me know. I would love to shout you out. I would love to encourage you. I would love to send you a message. I know whenever I get those messages, it really helps me. My baby steps that I'm taking today, I'm continuing to go through all the content that I've been gathering for my audiobook reel. Yes, I'm still working on it. Let's do it.
You might hear my daughter practicing her violin in the background, and that's a good reminder because I did not want to do any sort of voiceover work, practice anything today because I'm just really tired. It's another one of those days. But she kept pushing it off over and over, and I just kept saying, you have to. It's a privilege. And then I was laying down as she finally went to do it, and I said, you know what? It is a privilege for me to get to do what I do. And that was part of my challenge this year, is that I just need to come in here and do my work, even if it's for a few minutes. So yeah, totally felt convicted by my kindergartner. What I will share, what I'm continuing to work on, is going after finding my content. I've now narrowed it down to different pieces of content that I want to add on my audiobook reel, but now I need to go through the content that I found and find like the 30-second snippets, because right now most of the stuff that I found is like the whole book or the whole chapter, and I can't record all that. I'm about to make a break for y'all. So the kids are about to go to bed, and what I really need to do today is taking place outside of the booth. I'm about to go to Starbucks, get my coffee, and then I'm going to be looking at the copy that I have compiled. By the way, if you're ever looking for royalty-free copy, I found Project Gutenberg, which has a whole slew of ebooks and books from every genre, from every decade, and I can use pieces of those for my audiobook reel. Since I only have one actual audiobook job that I have done, I want to make sure that I can get pieces that look at nonfiction, a young adult novel excerpt, first person excerpt, obviously a kid's book excerpt, and a British piece. So that's what I'm going to be looking through. Thank you, Project Gutenberg. So I'll be telling you guys all about how that went tomorrow. Good night for now. I just got out of a workout class, and yes, I did go to the gym this morning, but I'm specifically talking about a voice acting workout class. I do these from time to time on Saturday mornings, and I really enjoy them. It is one of the most inspiring ways to start my weekend. It's basically a group of people who are voice actors. Some of us are new. Some of us have been doing this for several decades and just want to keep working on our craft, where we get all together for about an hour and a half. We pick a script that either challenges us or something that's really in our wheelhouse that we want to fine tune. And we work on that script, and then we get feedback. And we're able to practice listening for what other people can work on, but also taking direction and changing our reads in real time. And it's just cool to be in that environment and just to sit here and focus for a little while. I definitely learned a couple of different things that I can change from this time out. So for all of those in the workout class, thank you. Let's do it again. Today, I'm really excited to share that I'm finally going through all of my pieces that I'm going to put on my audiobook reel. So I thought I would share them with you. I've got about 5 or 6 pieces that I want to put on this reel. One of them, the first one, is a first-person perspective, and this is going to be something unique. I'm going to have to custom create this myself because I really want to capture something specific for my voice. It's going to be a little bit of a surprise, so you'll have to wait for that. I want to have a third-person narration perspective, and for this, I'm going to use the snippet of the short dramatic story that I did for my friend because that's very grounded and calm. I want to have a nonfiction piece, which will be focusing on a parenting book. Then for my British voice, I'm thinking of doing Alice in Wonderland, which is in the public domain. And then for the American English, it would be Wizard of Oz, which is in the public domain. And then lastly, I've been reading tons of Magic Treehouse books to my daughter. So that is kind of like the young adult novel feel. So I might create something custom for that. This is going to be a little bit different of a post. I was able to work on my audiobook reel content this morning, and it was a very productive time, but the whole time I was working on it, my mind was just flooded with thoughts about someone from church who was tragically killed. And I know that's kind of like a shocker in this post, but I didn't want to ignore it because
it was what I was feeling, and it was what a lot of people around me were feeling. And so it made me think, how do I function? How do I do the work that I'm supposed to do, whether it's voiceover work or going to your job or interacting with people at the grocery store or just being a mom, doing homeschooling? How do I do all of those things and do them as well as possible when there's so many reasons around me just to live in fear? But I was reminded by the life of this person, like they gave their absolute best to the very, very end. So I hope that this little update is a reminder to you that we can do that as well. We don't know what the future holds, but we can give our absolute best, and it does make a difference. I'm back, and I am nearly there with the audiobook reel, or should I say audiobook reels. I took off a little bit of time just to reflect on things in life, things in the world, but it's been really great being back. And a couple of things that I figured out: I need two reels instead of one. I need a reel focused on kids content, and I need a reel focused on adult content. I also realized that as I was finding pieces from published material in the public domain, that there's just too many specific things and traits and characters or voices or whatever that I want to add. So I actually have been writing more custom pieces than I had planned, and I really liked it. I might actually just give up doing voiceovers and just become a writer. Yeah. I used to want to be a librarian. This is not a joke. Okay. No, really. I'm going to stay in my lane for now, but it's been good. I have a question for everyone today, a very important question. How dost one record thy reel, thy audiobook reel, when there is an itch in the throat, perhaps a sore throat, when there is a pounding headache and constantly beating eyes, trying to flick away this evil thing that comes in the air called pollen? Well, that is what I'm trying to figure out, because that's what's going on. So, what would I do if I had an audio book or any sort of voice acting job right now, and you can hear it's just really scratchy? What would you do? Probably stay really, really hydrated and stay indoors and don't see the light of day for the next week, because that is what's going on in the South. Gotta love the spring. Oh my gosh. Guys, I did it. Okay, so I was about 95% done with writing my custom pieces for my audiobook reel, and then the baby woke up, and I was like, no, I am in the zone. I need to finish this. So then I just held him for the rest of the time and let him break the no passy outside of the bed rule so that he could just stay still. And then I kept typing and I kept typing and I kept typing and editing, and I finished it, guys. So I now have 6 different pieces for my 2 audiobook reels, and that includes 4 custom pieces, and then 2 that are from the public domain. And I'm just really grateful that I was able to get this done, because it took a lot more work than I thought it was going to take. I thought I would have recorded it by now, but now that's all I have left to do. So thank you for following along. You know what comes next. Hey y'all, I'm about to step outside of the booth. I'm done. What started off as kind of a joke about the pollen has become a joke on me, because I woke up this morning feeling just horrible, just throat itchy, just neck sore, headache non-ending. And so instead of officially recording my audiobook reels this week, I just decided I would practice recording them. And you know what? I realized that's exactly what I should do anyway. So this is a happy accident, because I was able to record all 8 of the pieces today. It took about 15 minutes, and I realized some of the pieces were too long. I realized that I need to add a little more physicality and variance in some of the other pieces, but I also noticed which pieces I really love and just came super natural, so I might want to put those in the beginning of my reel. Needless to say, I'm going to wait until next week to do the official recordings, but I'll keep practicing this week. Hey, yesterday was a family day, aka a lot of unplanned adventures, so the day was full, didn't do any voiceover stuff. But today I got to continue to work on my reel pieces. So I've been talking about this for a couple of
days now that I have all of my pieces for my audiobook reel, but I found that the links were too long on some pieces, and it has been really difficult to edit them down. I see why there's like extended versions of movies and stuff now, because I actually wrote like 6 out of 8 of these, and so I'm having a hard time figuring out like which piece I can cut out. So now, what I think I want to do next is record it like it is, and then get some advice from some other audiobook voice actors, and then that way I won't be doing double work and they can give me some direction on which parts are really hitting them. I mean, hello, duh, should have had this planned anyway. So that's what I'll be doing next. Before I give my next update on voice acting, I just have to declare that the last couple of days have been really, really hard. I have been stressed. I have had a lot of anxiety. It is something that I have worked on for several decades, but usually I don't have these kind of like big spurts of things, except maybe like once a year or something. And a lot of times, having little kids, it really like triggers it along with a lot of other things. So it's one of the reasons why I really like doing these updates, because I want to focus on doing this voiceover, voice acting journey, but also being that full-time mom. And the main part of this game is flexibility and grace. I have not had a lot of that with myself lately. For instance, I was supposed to be recording my official reel this week, but I'm still working on the pieces. I've had a lot of interruptions and it drives me nuts sometimes. But I do have to remind myself it's okay. So keep following along. We're going to do it. This is certainly a joyful day. I just finished editing and condensing the pieces for my kids' audiobook reel. It is about 3 minutes long, and I will record the official piece later this week, as I've just been working on making sure that I can put different characters and voices and tones and paces in the pieces. Now, one thing I did have to do, I did have to cut out one entire piece, and it was my young adult novel feel. But I think I can get the essence of that into one of the other pieces that I custom wrote. And this was just a cool thing. As I've been practicing it, my daughter just keeps hearing me practice it, and she wants to hear the rest of the story because the snippet I wrote is like a minute and a half long. So now I'm thinking to myself, am I going to end up writing like a whole 20-minute story? Hey, why not? Anyway, we're doing it. Slow and steady wins the race.